Good morning. A little later than scheduled, but fortunately for us, aerobics took a bit longer. We're now going to do some Pilates for strengthening core and back, and to allow you to strengthen them by using a mat or laying down. If you aren't able-bodied but can lay on a bed or sofa, this will be just as beneficial for you. We're going to start on the mats laying down. This Pilates session will mainly focus on core and back muscles. So once your head is down on a pillow or block, place the legs in crooked position so that the knees are bent. We're going to start with thinking about the core muscles before we do anything and ground the heels to the floor. Once you are there, pull the tummy muscles tight towards the mat or back and squeeze up and hold so that you're tilting the pelvis up. Squeeze deeply the core muscles inside and hold for 2 to 3 breaths, then release and bring the pelvis down. Repeat this rocking for 8 nice steady pull-ups. The block or pillow under the head is just to keep the cervical spine in line with the rest of the vertebrae. So you don't have to use it, it's just there if your neck decides to do this on the sofa, bed or floor on your mats. So again, we're tilting up, pulling deep inside the core muscles and coming down. I'm going to do 6 to 8 of those, starting by strengthening inner core muscles. So you should feel here your rectus abdominis muscles really tightening lovely, and at the back, the latissimus dorsi and the quadratus lumborum really tightening and relaxing. And I want you to do that so that we can really tighten the lower back muscles and the core muscles together. We've got 2 more of those to do. So we're squeezing in, pulling in tight, and you will feel a nice skinny feeling as you pull in and release. Now this is exactly what I want you to feel as you squeeze in those muscles. So if you get used to tightening them nicely now, when you go out, when you can be let out, back out to the clubs or nightclubs, you'll have those nice toned tummies just by doing pelvic floor tilts. We're now going to roll into a bridge, but we're going to remove the pillow or block from under the head and walk the heels to the bottom. And then we're going to come up and go down. So we're going to come into the bridge and then release. Now as you do this slowly, engage the core muscles again, but strengthen through the back. Now if you have a bad back, don't go up so high, but do tilt, pull in, tidy up and relax. So we're going to do that for 10 nice easy bridge tilts. Now this is a good one to do on the bed. Like I've said, there's no excuses just because you see the word Pilates and you think, well, I can't manage that. Actually, you can even laying on a bed. So these muscle workouts can be done even if you don't have strong ability there in your joints, which is what we're doing this for. Now remember, the one thing I haven't mentioned already, because we've gone straight into exercise, is the deep breath in as you lift. Hold in there so the in-breath is engaging all the way to the lower diaphragm, and then exhale. But as you in-breath, feel in as well your lateral breaths in and out. The rib cage will expand and release. We've got 2 more of those. So we're just doing 8 here. If you want to go on to 10, by all means carry on. And we're going to do 1 more here. For those able-bodied, carry on. Now from here we're going to extend the arms onto the shoulders. Now notice here I'm going further into the bridge. So to do this and to work your quads, walk the heels further to the back. And this is fantastic for lower back. So if you're suffering with the back position, or back problem, this position here will help you to strengthen the back. We're going to place the block, if you have one, under the bottom to help that elongation or curvature of your spine. Now if you're one of these people that don't have a block at home, use the hands underneath to keep the hips up. Or engage your quadriceps and just allow them to do the work. And then we're going to bring the arms again over the head. But this time I'm going to progress my quadriceps and the muscles at the top of the legs and draw the heels to the block. Holding that position to 4 to 5 breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Now if you've got an issue with your back and this is hurting, come out at any time and draw the knees to the chest and rock side to side. The rest of us, can we lengthen the arms as well? So more progression here, and we're going to take one leg to the ceiling. Holding this position for another 4 deep breaths on each leg. Don't forget the deep breaths. And we're going to change when you're ready. So you should be counting your own breaths. 2 more breaths there to hold. We're going to go back to bridge and remove the block, slide it under the thighs and bring the legs down one at a time. And like you're on a bed, allow them to rest. Go back to your core muscles, draw them in tight now, feel nice and flat. Place the hands or fingertips on your hips. Relax the shoulders back and down. On the next in-breath, keeping the chin in line with the sternum, roll up, feeling the core muscles and hold for about 2 breaths. And we're going to exhale and come down. Now the block or pillow under the thighs are going to help you with your back. For the back stays neutral even though you're engaging your core muscles safely, I may add here. And we're coming back down. We're going to do this for 6 deep breaths. In, pull it up, out breath, down and release, okay? Now, I did forget to mention that if you have a poorly neck but you still want to do these gentle roll-ups, working on the core muscles, place the hands under the head, thumbs just under the chin, but keep the elbows open. Therefore, you will work the core muscles rather than pulling the elbows, just working the neck. So actually this is a bigger progression, because now you can lift the head even further. By all means stay there if that helps, but still really working now all of the abdominal muscles. Now if you've been drinking quite a lot over the weekend, or like me, you've been baking and eating too many cakes, this is a fantastic way to work straight into the core muscles that maybe have had a few too many calories over the weekend. Now remember, even though I'm pulling up, I'm staying there for as long as we can with that deep breath in so I can feel the contractions inside the core muscles. Let's do 2 more. Now for those that are more advanced in Pilates and don't have a back condition, if you were to move the block or pillow, you could actually allow the core muscles to pull in and bring yourselves all the way up to the toes. If it hurts with the neck, you can bring the hands either side of the legs, slowly rolling and rolling through the back, trying to get the head then towards the knees and then slowly back. Now if you have a bad back, bend the knees and you'll find you'll still be able to use the core muscles without hurting the lower back. So you're pulling up nice and slowly, pull it in, rolling forwards and reaching instead of going from a flat back to the toes. Now again, you can do as many as you want of these depending on your lower back and core. But for me, I'm just going to do 2 more to demo this. Again, you might want to pause the video if you're on replay and see if you can do 10 to 20 of them. Now, as I don't have much time on the video, I'm going to move swiftly into the next one. But again, please stop at any time if you're at home and you want to progress to do more. Now, I'm going to place the ball under the bottom so that I can work on my knee joints and my back together. The ball there underneath the coccyx is stopping my back from hurting. Then from here, the knees should be in line with the heels and the hands here. As I then go into 100, coming up and pumping up my thighs. Now, if you can't balance on the ball, remove it, but then engage your core muscles and breathe in and out until you have pulsed for 100 pulses. Again, if the neck hurts at any time, lower the neck, give it a rest, but still pump the tyres and come back up. However, to progress, you could go into a diagonal stretch here. Again, if it's too much on how many I'm doing, just bring the knees to the chest and stop at any time. More. Then knees down and come off the ball, rocking from side to side. Now here we're working through the back, so you should feel the nice stretch as you gently transverse abdominal stretch right to left. Now stay here to work through the back. If you do suffer with a back condition, brilliant to help heal your spine and muscles in the lumbar region. If you find your thoracic region, so the middle of the back is really poorly, again, gently twisting, taking the knees side to side, reaching towards the hands if you can. Now, if done correctly, you'll find that you'll start to work down the mats. That's quite normal for this exercise. Now, we're going to work in those transverse abdominis muscles and obliques, placing the ball back under the bottom and lengthening the legs, and we're going to gently move slowly side to side, but not big ones. So this is protecting your back, but you're still working your core muscles. Side to side to twist as well, lengthening your obliques in the back. Now if you do want to progress and you don't have a back problem, remove the ball and then take the legs further each way. Again, working here into a hip twist, but laying down. Just going to move slightly because I'm too near the ball, but allow the legs to go further. Now note here that my hands are protecting my back and my bottom as I twist side to side, feeling the obliques and back muscles working. I'm going to do 2 more each way. And then we're going to go back to a tabletop and then into a long bike with flexed feet. Here, stretching away and pulling back not only works to strengthen the back, but works the core muscles. So you'll feel the rectus abdominis every time the legs stretch away. Now, if you do have a hip flexor issue, I wouldn't recommend the straight stretch here. I would take it up to the ceiling instead so that it doesn't hurt here. You also, if you suffer, can place the ball back underneath the coccyx as you lengthen into that long bike. So we're going to carry on going, bringing the knee in and the leg away until you've done about 30 on each leg. We're about 30 in already, so 30 more from here will give you that nice 60 stretch. Not a 60 stretch, but 60 altogether. Keep feeling that lengthening legs and the knees. Great start to a week. Monday morning back and tummy stretch. So tomorrow you will feel nice and slim all over again, and you would have burnt through the core and the calories that you may have put on over the weekend. Now from here we're going to progress you into a cycle. So now the legs are fully working, and this is going to increase your heart rate. Each time you push the leg away, make sure that the heels are down and that you're making a full circle through the knees. Now if you want to progress, you can go up on the shoulders again. Those that have done Pilates before, by all means do. I'm not going to demo it because I'm going to stay down here for the majority of those that are watching this morning. So those with back conditions shouldn't go up on the shoulders. Those with a neck condition, the same applies. But if you're fit and healthy, roll on those shoulders and do 60 up there. Now we're going to reverse those legs. So we're bringing the toes to the head, pushing the heels away now. And again, engaging the core muscles to work and strengthen the lower back. So the whole morning section here of Pilates is for the core and back. Now, don't worry if you don't go very fast. I would rather the cycle or circle you're making is equal on both legs than rushing it and going too fast. So we're halfway. And again, for those that maybe have just joined halfway through the live video, the ball is there to protect the coccyx. Do use it. If not, a pillow will do the same. For this will help if you have a crunchy feeling in the vertebrae in the lower back. And just 10 more here. So a lot on lower body so far. So we're going to go back now to the upper body. And we're going to come off of the ball. So the back goes back to neutral, crooked position there. And allow the head to rest. And here we're going to stretch one arm at a time over the head and back. Stretching through the shoulders. Lengthening through the hands. And trying to get the thumb behind your head. We're just going to do 8 of those on each arm. Really stretch. Fantastic again for the side of the body, the back and shoulders as well. Now if you're one of these that can't stand to balance very well, laying down is a really good option because you can do this laying in bed. Now we're going to do both arms together, so above the head and down beside you. We're going to do 16 of those. So you're going to be here a little while, stretching through the shoulders again, giving the lower back and core muscles a chance to relax. In breath again as the arms travel over the head, out breath to release. And really feel that benefit in the shoulders. And as you pull up, feeling the muscles under the arm. There are so many muscles under there that we forget to stretch. Also helps if you have loose skin underneath the bra area if you're watching another lady. So again, nice, easy exercise to do if this is something that you suffer with. Or that you've just discovered since you've been in lockdown. And we're going to work on the leg and bottom muscles now to sustain and strengthen the back by rolling onto one side, bringing your hands together, feet in line with the hips and shoulders, and finding your balance there. Once you are there, pointing the toes out, we're going to lift the top leg and hold it there and take the other leg off the floor to strengthen your lower back. I'm going to hold there for 4 breaths. If you're on rewind or replay on these, just make sure that you're off of the hip in front slightly so that you're not hurting the hip bone. Now we're going to go into scissors. Now be careful, because if you go too fast, you will unbalance, yes, with the arms above the head. So nice and slow. If you want to go further with the legs, encourage the hand in front of you, so then you can swing even further. And again, I would still do about 15 on each leg, making that 30 kicks. So nice scissor legs on the side there. So this is strengthening your legs and bottom and your lumbar spine. Now we're going to bring the legs back together, find your balance again with the arm above the head, and then take the leg up with a pointed set of toes and a flex foot down for 15 lifts. So you're still having to work on balance on the side, but stretching through your back, lengthening the legs and inner and outer thighs or abdominal muscles there having to engage still as you stretch the arms up. You will also feel an abductor and abductor stretch at the top of the thighs. Last 5. Now before you finish, draw the knee behind you and bring the arm under the head as you stretch and take the heel to the bottom, stretching the thumb front of the leg. And here, the further back the heel goes, the better the stretch in the hip flexors and quadriceps. Now still finding your balance, we're going to roll to the other side. So slightly off the hips again. Make sure that the shoulders are in line with your hips and ankles. And then when ready, we're going to bring both legs off the floor and hold. Just 2 to 3 breaths here. Then hip swings. Again, if you unbalance, bring the upper hand in front. And then legs together, arms back together, and point the toes up. Flex the heels down again for 15. In breath as the leg goes up, out breath as it comes down. And then into that bent knee stretch here. Now we're going to progress to strengthen the back, quads, hips and bottoms now. Staying on this side, come up onto the elbow. Now if you find it hard to do this, and just stay laying down with the arm in front and the head under a pillow, but then draw the knees backwards. Now we did do a lot of these last week to work on the glutes and hip muscles. So from here we're going to lift the top leg up and down, gently into clam. As you open and close, if you have a band, you can actually place around the top of the thighs. But this is to contract the glute muscles. You should feel it here and here at the top of the leg. Now if you start to rock forwards, bring the other arm behind you to stop you rolling backwards. And again, working through the inside and outside of the thigh. Those adductor and abductor muscles really having to work hard. In breath to lift, out breath to release. I'm going to do another 15 of those to make that 20 this morning. Last 5. Now we're going to go into hip swings, bringing the hand in front of you to protect you from moving forward and back. We're going to now take that knee to chest, and then when you're ready, we're going to take that heel all the way behind you. So again, working through your bottom adductor and abductor muscles. Feel that work through the top of the leg. Again, 15 of these. Again, you know, if you're on replay or you're watching this on YouTube, pause it and do 30. If this is something you do every day. So again, progress according to what's good for you. I don't have very long on the lives, so yeah, use this time to just stop, pause, and go back and do some more. Now we're going to do those 2 exercises on the other leg. So take your time on this one as you roll over. I did forget to mention that if it does hurt like this, you can always use the ball to lie on. Yeah. So into clam, so pushing yourself forward slightly, working on the hips there, gently open and close. So again, fantastic on the lower back. Core muscles aren't doing very much here because you're working this area, but really good for glutes and lower back. Keep going. Five more to make that 20. And then into hip flexor swings. So here, working into the back, stretching the front of the thighs, working the knee to the chest. Now, if you notice here that the upper body isn't moving, it's just the leg forward and back. Well done. Now bringing the knees together, bring yourselves upright. We're going to lengthen the legs across your mat and straighten the back. Now to work the back, you may need the ball or block in front of you, or pillow, depending what you've got at home. Flex the feet and lengthen towards the calves. We're going to push through the legs, so we're going to work here and into your lower back. So we're going to strengthen and push down. Elbows here, gently coming towards the knees, so keep them soft, and gently pulse a little bit each time. And we're going to try and go a little lower. Again, chin aiming for that block. Now if you do want to progress, and this isn't really stretching the legs, reach for the toes, so the upper arms as well are stretching. And we're going to try and get the forehead to the edge of the block there. Relax the shoulders, feel the stretch through the legs. Now coming up slowly into windmill, go from one hand or one foot with the opposite hand, one at a time. So we're going to twist through the spine. So a spinal twist here, again strengthening lower back. Brilliant for legs and hamstrings as well. Try and keep the knees soft, but lengthen as best you can. And the same with the elbows. Now I like to look at where I'm travelling. If you feel that you're going dizzy, keep the head still and just do the arms doing the work like this, so the head's not moving. Again, it's up to you what's best for you. And then we're going to come up into bow and arrows and go into saw. So opposite hand to opposite ankle, pull back, back is straight and coming down. Try and keep the knees straight here and try and get the head further down to each opposite knee as the hand chops off that over the top, outside of the ankle. Two more on each side. Last one. Now just to stretch out, reach for the ankles again. And then from here we're going to close the legs in and go on to the side there. I'm going to use the block underneath my feet just to rest on, so that I can do gentle rollbacks. So I'm gently going to roll back and come up. Now if you've got a really bad back, although you can still do this, use the ball behind you. So you can roll to the ball and come off of it. We're going to do 16 here. Now in breath to go back, out breath as you come up. Now obviously if you don't have a bad back, you can remove the ball and go further back. Last 4. Now hold, this time remove the block and turn it long ways at the end of your mat. As we now go into swimming onto the tummy. Now my forehead is going to go to the edge of the block and my hands are going to go over the top of the head. Then one at a time the opposite leg lifts to the opposite arm. Into swimming for about 16 or 8 on each side. Again, this is one you can stop and replay and do for a lot more if you wish. From here we're going to go on to all fours to finish, as we now gently work through the spine into a downward cat pose with a deep breath in and upward cow. And we'll do 8 of these to work on the spine and core muscles together. Now the further you pull up the chin, the further the abdominal muscles will stretch, pulling them in all the time. Last 2. And we're now going to finish into a shell pose, lengthening the arms, head down and bend the knees. Now if you can't go on the knees for any problem, roll on the back and draw the knees to chest instead. Hold there, deep breath, close your eyes for 4 breaths. To come up safely, curl the toes, walk the feet slowly in front of you, get the heels down, hands over the toes, head to the knees and hold. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs and roll up slowly. Again, working the core muscles to pull up into a roll up. Well done. We hope to see you soon. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a good day.